Coming up on 5 Minute News. Trump's failure to concede will undermine US democracy for a generation. Gunmen in western Ethiopia kill at least 34 people in bus attack. And Philippines' typhoon sees worst floods in 45 years. It's Monday, November 16. I'm Anthony Davis. Donald Trump appeared on Sunday to acknowledge losing the US election, but then backtracked and said he concedes nothing, while President-elect Joe Biden focused on tackling the coronavirus pandemic and set meetings with pharmaceutical companies developing vaccines. Ron Klain, Biden's pick for White House Chief of Staff, urged Trump's administration to allow a seamless transition, calling it vital for national security and combating COVID-19. The pandemic will be a paramount concern for Biden, who takes office on January 20th. Klain said Biden's scientific advisors will meet with Pfizer and other drug makers starting this week to prepare for the giant logistical project of widespread vaccination against a virus that has killed more than 245,000 Americans and left millions more unemployed. Trump, pursuing long-shot litigation contesting election results in several states, made conflicting statements in a series of Twitter posts. He initially appeared to admit, for the first time publicly, that Biden won, then reversed course. Trump also repeated unfounded claims of widespread voter fraud. He won because the election was rigged, Trump wrote, not referring to Biden by name, adding a list of complaints about vote counting. Ron Klain said Trump's Twitter feed doesn't make Joe Biden president or not president. The American people did that. The decision by the General Services Administration, headed by a Trump appointee, not to recognize Biden as president-elect has prevented Biden and his team from gaining access to government office space and funding normally afforded to an incoming administration to ensure a smooth transition, and could result in the death of more Americans. Klain, who wrote an article in The Atlantic in January predicting Trump's inability to handle the coronavirus, said it's critical to ensure the president-elect receives intelligence briefings before taking office and to facilitate coordination with the White House Coronavirus Task Force. The mechanics of manufacture and distribution lies with the US Department of Health and Human Services, Klain added, making it important for Biden's team to be able to coordinate with current HHS officials. Trump's campaign has filed lawsuits seeking to overturn the results in multiple states without success. Legal experts have said the litigation stands little chance of altering the election's outcome. But the consequences of the litigation may have a far greater impact on the country. In continuing to contest the election and refusing to concede, Donald Trump is undermining the institution of democracy in America, and with 72 million supporters, it could take an entire generation to restore faith in the democratic voting system. Gunmen in western Ethiopia killed at least 34 people in an attack on a bus on Saturday night, the national human rights body said on Sunday, as fears grow of a security vacuum in the country amid a military campaign in the north. The Ethiopian Human Rights Commission said the number of people killed was likely to rise after what it called a gruesome attack on the passenger bus in the Benishangul-Gumuz region. It said there were reports of similar attacks and of people fleeing the violence in other parts of the region. The latest attack is a grim addition to the human cost, which we bear collectively, said the Commission head in a statement. He urged regional and federal authorities to work together on a strategy for Benishangul-Gumuz due to the unrelenting pace of attacks there. Armed militiamen killed at least 45 people in the same region in September, according to the Ethiopian government. The violence comes amid a 12-day-old war between the Ethiopian government and the restive Tigray region in the country's north. Experts say that conflict could encourage other ethnic groups to exploit the chaos to push for more autonomy, while the redeployment of forces to Tigray could leave other regions exposed. The death toll from the deadliest cyclone to hit the Philippines this year has climbed to 67, while many areas remain submerged in a northern region hit by the worst flooding in more than 4 decades, officials said on Sunday. President Rodrigo Duterte flew to the province to assess the situation in the Cagayan Valley region, which was heavily flooded after Typhoon Vanco dumped rain over swathes of the main Luzon island, including the capital, metropolitan Manila. 22 fatalities were recorded in Cagayan, 17 in southern Luzon, 8 in Metro Manila, and 20 in 2 other regions, said Mark Timball, the disaster management agency spokesman. 12 people were still missing and nearly 26,000 houses were damaged by Vanco, he said. This is the worst flooding we've had in the last 45 years, said Cagayan Governor Manuel Mamba. We see that it's worsening every year. The accumulated efforts of weather disturbances and huge volumes of water from a dam affected thousands of families in Cagayan, some who had fled to rooftops to escape 2-story high floods. 6 cyclones hit the Philippines in a span of just 4 weeks, including Vanco and Super Typhoon Goni, the world's most powerful this year. Relief and rescue operations continued in Cagayan, even as the nearby Magat Dam was still releasing water, 2 days after releasing a volume equivalent to 2 Olympic-sized pools per second based on government data. Vanco, the 21st cyclone to hit the Philippines this year, also caused the worst flooding in years in parts of the capital. You can subscribe to 5-Minute News on YouTube with your preferred podcast app. Ask your smart speaker or enable 5-Minute News as your Amazon Alexa flash briefing skill. Subscribe, rate and review online at 5minute.news. 5-Minute News is an Evergreen Podcast covering politics, inequality, health and climate, delivering independent, unbiased and essential world news daily.